audio output, or actually, yeah, audio output, and there's a button while others talk. So the bands were Urgot and, oh my goodness, my memory
York.
incredibly
It
short.
was York.
York, yes. Urgot and York. Oh my goodness. If you guys tuned in yesterday, or even if you didn't, you should go watch the VODs. Zion Spartan actually 1v4'd an enemy team as York, got a quadra kill. It was very, very impressive, very amazing. We were like, oh, it looks like it's going to be an ace, and then suddenly Zion Spartan turned it around and just to town on the entire opposing team. And we actually had a lot of great plays yesterday. We had a Scumbag Crepo stealing a pentakill from Froggen when it was a very clear pentakill. Froggen was playing Ari. There was no chance that the enemy was going to get away or that Ari was going to die, and yet Crepo stole it with some Soraka power.
Soraka, man. Gotta love Soraka. Such a versatile champion. Can go mid, can go support, can just really troll very much in an ARAM. Proving grounds, man. I think that's adding quite a bit to the learning curve of these heroes, you know? Random it up, get that Soraka, and find out what works for you. But yeah, it was Urgot and Yorick, so... I don't know, what do you think of Urgot? Like, we used to see none of him, and now he's just like band pick every time, no problem.
Man, well, people just learned how to build him, I think. And the amusing thing is people learn how to build him, and they're building him now the same way that Bruce Elite, who's a high elo player, was on a couple of teams. I'm not sure what team he's rolling with now. Built him immediately after he came out with that Frozen Heart and kind of just built him, off-tank DPS, focusing on that cooldown. So he just shuts down bottom lanes. It's incredibly unfun to play against, so I think that's part of why people don't like it. But he just gets so tanky and does decent damage all throughout the game. So we do see the bans come down. Malphite, Nocturne, Lee Sin, so a lot of jungle/top picks from Fornot. Twisted Fate, Janna, and Karthus, those are, two aligned against Takashi X and the Janna to kind of pick out Zekint, but they leave one bad Brad, his Alistar, which is his favorite jungle. Alistar, along with Nautilus, apparently chose Alistar over Nautilus in this case, and he gets that as a first pick. And we've seen throughout this tournament, throughout Leaguepedia, basically every jungler can play Alistar, and every jungler can be dominant with him because he has those incredible level 2 ganks, that headbutt pulverize combination. Not only does it stun you for an incredibly long time, but it pushes you, if he positions right, back towards the opposition side of the lane, which is incredibly devastating.
Man, I remember when he came out onto the scene, it's just like, jungle Alistar? What is this? But Snoopy, man, he really brought this into style, and I think you could even go as far as to say that, you have a very low chance of losing with a jungle Alistar. He just has so much pressure and control, and one bad Brad, I've watched his stream, I've seen him in some of these tournaments, he is one to look out for, seriously.
Oh, absolutely, and he is an incredibly funny guy, always in the pre-game chats. Hilarious. Back to the picks, we have Ezreal and Morgana coming up. Morgana, very safe AP middle pick. You can pick her high and not be too worried about being countered because of that black shield and because of her ability to just passively farm with Tormented Soil. She can sit in mid lane and not really worry too much about one ganks and two just being outplayed by the opposing middle. Ezreal also really seeing a pickup in play, not only because Pulsefire Ezreal came out, but that's part of it, but also because everyone realized, oh, he does really good damage, has that steroid connected with his passive, and now people have new ways to build him. Sometimes they build him straight AD, sometimes they build Trinity Force into Infinity Edge, but no matter how they build him, it has been proven to be effective even at the competitive level. And on the other side, we have Corki and also Kayle. And the interesting thing about Kayle is Zekint can play Kayle top, might actually play Kayle in the support role, but now mTw.NA really has to be worried about where that Kayle is going to show up, who's going to be playing him or her, and how to counter that, sufficiently.
Well, it's a little shame that we're not going to see Corki going Korean style solo top lane, but North American style for sure. Definitely looks like he'll be into that bottom. Zekint, man, like he is just always so happy on his stream. He's always so positive and upbeat, and he makes a heck of a kill. So I would not be too surprised if I saw him on that, but. You never know. Flip side, looks like Smithy may be thinking of that Shen, the split push
Oh,
master.
wow.
But no, it's going to be, what do you think, a jungle Nautilus or supportless?
Well, it's definitely going to be a jungle Nautilus because they have that Soraka pick in below him, and xMithy is pretty well known for his jungle Nautilus. So we actually have the favored junglers of each jungler, I think, with that Nautilus pickup. Of course, xMithy really good at Lee Sin too. I'm surprised that they let Shen go. Shen could potentially be picked up by Fornot over here. We could actually see Alistar in the support role and then Shen in the jungle. And I would be surprised if Shen does not get picked up at all. That is a possibility, but he's proven time and time again that Stand United ultimate is just a game changer. It allows you to split push. It allows you to save people from anywhere on the map. It is an incredibly useful tool, and normally we see him banned out. In this game, of course, did not see a ban, but we're also not seeing him picked as of yet. I guess the only really thing we could see here is they potentially could have Rain Man play him top lane. I don't think that is really Rain Man's preference, but we're going to be in the last pick here, and we shall see.
I do see an Udyr and that Ahri. Now, Ahri in the mid, I mean, she did get nerfed a little bit. Can't build her quite as tanky and still do as much damage as he used to, but still, it's a very strong pickup mid, especially against Morgana. You need the creep clearing capabilities just in order to keep up with her so that you don't get forced to tower. But I'm looking at, is that a Jace? I'm thinking a Jace.
That looks like a Jace. I've been seeing a lot of hover over Jaces, kind of as, a troll. I haven't seen anyone play him in tournament play, but Rayman might bring him up. He's been a very popular top pick. He has a lot of great poke with his Q. The one thing about Fornot's team, going back to that, because I don't want to get too excited, and they do lock in the Jace, so we are going to see a Jace. The first time I have seen him in competitive play, and then we see a dodge. We're like, that's not even fair. You're not allowed to play Jace in this tournament. I know, I don't know the reasons for the dodge
Rage quit.
as of yet. Yes, rage quit. No Jace, none of the time. So we will be getting the game back to you. The thing with Fornot's team is I don't even know who is playing where. You could have Alistar support, Alistar in the jungle, Udyr as jungle, Udyr as top, Kayle jungle. Actually, you could potentially Kayle jungle, but I don't think we're going to see that Kayle top or Kayle support. So we're kind of left in the dark there. My best guess would be Alistar in the jungle, Udyr top, Kayle as a support, just keeping with the player's favorite champions in said roles. So we are going to go through these picks and bans one more time very fast. Do you have any initial impressions about the matchup here? Did you see anything that favors one team over the other?
Well, as I said, that whole missing Atlanta piece is just really screwing with my analysis of mTw. It's always been a cornerstone. It's like, oh yeah, it's Atlanta, we'll do good. At the same time, you can't discount Rayman. I'm just a little concerned about, the team. Are they going to gel? Like, are they practicing a lot with Rayman? Is he becoming a mainstay? Or is he just like, hey, let's try out in a tournament this new guy? That's really the issue that I'm going to be seeing with it. Are they going to be able to gel well together? Fornat has proven time and again, but they also do have, a new member as well, Martel, right? So it's kind of throwing off my skew a little bit, but if history's going to tell me anything, it's that Alistar really helps win games. He's like an Urgot in that regard. Whoever gets the Urgot usually has that big advantage.
Yeah, absolutely, and those ganks are just so devastating. We'll see if he's able to get off some early level ganks. The one thing that Mandatory Cloud can do on Morgana is actually get an early point in Black Shield, and anytime she sees Alistar, just pop that up, and that'll nullify his CC until that shield is broken. So that could be a good strategy. However, Jason top lane, of course, has that acceleration field, but it's not as great of an escape as certainly other top laners do have. So I would be a little concerned about him top lane. A lot of past history has suggested that he doesn't work incredibly well with the jungler, and that was kind of an issue when he was with TSM, so says a number of people. I'm not sure if that's actually the truth or what there was to it, but we will have to see how well he does cooperate, communicate with xMithy. xMithy, a great jungler in his own right, but of course there has to be a lot of communication between the top lane and the jungler, because that is the kind of focused lane to gank over and over, allow the team a snowball. And at first we actually saw one bad Brad picked the Alistar and then swapped it up, and we might see another swap here because Martel is actually on Alistar. Looks like he's going to be going support perhaps, and they might send Kayle top. Very confusing. They do swap one more time at the last second. Oh man. So yes, it will be Alistar jungle, Udyr top, Kayle as a support. So they're trolling us. They're also trolling mTw.NA just a little bit there.
Well, it's just like, hey, maybe they're watching the stream. We'll just keep going back and forth until the last second. We'll cement it. It'll screw up the casters. We're all going to have a good laugh about it. And now we're going to go play ourselves a good game. Because, guys, you are watching the LeagueCraft ggClassic presented by Arcade. It's the first games of the day. Obviously, we had an amazing set of games yesterday. I heard Taipei Assassins playing, showing us the representative of the G Arena, the domination that they're currently on. Right now, TPA could be literally the best team in the world, and that's really exciting. So yeah, ggClassic, we got ourselves a whole slew of games today, but we're starting it off 4-0 versus mTw, both sporting a little bit of a twisted lineup. Martel is going to be subbing in here 4-0. We do got the Rain Man, your eyes are not deceiving you, over on the purple. And if you guys are just joining us, welcome to the party.
Yes, certainly welcome. And yesterday we had a very exciting day. Team Dynamic and Curse moving on to the finals, which will be next weekend. And today I hope we have, at least half the excitement we had yesterday. I don't even know why the tournament games tend to be so exciting, because I'll play in a number of normal games, regular games, and we don't see pentakills or quadrakills very frequently. And then this tournament, we had 2 quadrakills yesterday. Potential for a pentakill that was stolen, and sometimes the stolen pentakill is even more memorable than the actual pentakill, because you get those scumbag moments, scumbag Crepo, stealing it with Soraka. Is bananas too strong? But I think we're going to jump to ads, am I not right? And we'll be back with the skin battle.
Yeah, guys, we're just going to throw it to a quick commercial, and then we're going to, you should be able to come back right on time. So don't go anywhere. ggClassic, game number 1 today, 4-0 mTw, 4-core Jester and Soter, and we'll see you on the other side. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're now loading into the game. Again, 4-0, and Muffin Cutie is, well, on mTw. Wow, I wanted to say mTw. I saw Muffin Cutie. I could not resist Soter. He's just so cute. But
it's so cute.
Yeah, welcome to the party. 2,000 viewers here hanging out on a Sunday, and we're looking forward to a very fun best of one. That is all that we're running today. We got 3 games lined up, at least 3, here with me and you, and I'm trying to remember if is there another stream up? There might be another stream.
There is another stream up. We will be having streams going concurrently most through the day. Well, I think the entire time that you and I are casting, there will also be streams going up on GG Chronicle 2. So the same exact link you're at now, just add a 2 to the other side of it. And right now we have Orbit going against CLG Black, and next game you and I will be doing mTw.NA versus CLG Black, and in the second game it will be Orbit versus 4-0. So certainly 2 very good games going on at the same time. We'd appreciate it if you stuck with us, because we like having everyone watching this stream, but another good game is going on over there. So we did kind of jump through the skin screen. I'm a little disappointed, not an incredible amount of skins on either side. We do have that Earth Rider Corki that was very important, but Ezreal, I don't know about that Ezreal.
I do apologize, Soter. My 4-0 text didn't save, so I'm just quickly adding it.
Oh, okay, there we go. Well, I'll just keep on talking. It looks like both teams are being a little bit defensive. mTw.NA kind of positioning like they want to place a ward at the race. That seems to be the go-to position for wards early on, just to keep track of the enemy jungler. So they could go ahead and do that, and we see the exact same thing being done by zzKent on the other side. So both teams will know when the jungler runs through that Wraith camp. Certainly is very effective keeping track of the enemy jungler, knowing when potentially they're going to be able to gank any given lane. And of course, if you can keep track of Alistar, that helps out a lot. If you don't see him go to that Wraith camp after blue, then you know he's probably heading up top for a quick gank, and you can play a little bit more defensively. Otherwise, just a good strategy overall. Ensure that your middle lane is not getting ganked from that side either. The only one thing is every team seems to be doing this now, so I'm sure people have caught on. I've noticed people catching on, and they actually will run around the outside of the jungle just to avoid that little ward placement there. Maybe even ignore Wraith Camp. We'll see if either jungler decides to do something as drastic as that.
Once again, I do apologize to the stream. I have no idea where my 4-0 text went, but it is there. MTW 4-0, game number 1. And yeah, I mean, those early wards, that extra vision, really does help out with those invades, but business as normal. Does look like both the blues getting picked up about the same time. Bad Brad and Smithy doing, normal work, and everyone's just going off to their lanes. So, looks like a very passive starting, and that was my dog. She's saying hi to everyone.
Oh, it's always good to have a cheerleader. So 4-0 actually knows exactly where Smithy is. He's walking over the ward, and One Bad Brad heading top for a gank. Rain Man, of course, aware that it is going to come because they have that ward at raise, and they know that One Bad Brad has not been there yet. So if he's not there, he must be somewhere roaming around the top of the map. Good play defensively by the Rain Man. One other interesting... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, if anybody knows top lane, it's the Rain Man.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of teams now, I feel like, have been really working to make their top lane's main champions work out for their composition. And I feel like, that could be done with, the Rain Man and TSM could have been done. Certainly was not, and he was removed from the team. We do see, a lot of harass going down bottom lane, but Smithy coming in up top, and Martel might be in a little bit of trouble. His wave is pushing the wrong way for him.
Yeah, he has the red, he has the blue, level 3, so he is kind of equalizing, but ultimately looks like maybe he's going to go, maybe he's not. He's trying to test whether Martel has vision on him or not, but down south, again, still a lot of flack going back and forth. Mid looks okay, and, there's no Alistar in any vision because he is in that ward down south, so that we're going to be able to chase off Martel, no problem. Smithy making it known, this is my lane, you do not belong, and he's just going to play a little bit of a zone and a little bit of flack, and this should be able to feed Rainman's some pretty zone-free creeps.
Yeah, actually, Martel only at 9 CS. Actually, Rayman at 13. Both of the top lanes had to back off. Oh my goodness, and almost the kill pickup. Oh, the Ignite does get Corki down bottom, and a double kill for that Ezreal lane. Ezreal Soraka has so much harass potential that you just get people low, and that's what they've been doing, working people down. Another thing is some of the other casters who have been doing a lot of these mTw.NA games keep on telling me, oh, Balls is actually coming up. He is doing incredibly well as an AD carry, actually winning so many of those bottom lanes on their own. And thanks to the heal nerfs and the prevalence of people now taking Ignite, we see a lot more kills picked up in that bottom lane as we did see there. So a really nice move for mTw.NA. 2 kills in the bottom, and I think a lot of people don't assume that bottom lane does steamroll because, of course, you still have that support to protect you. But, anytime I see a double kill picked up bottom lane, it's very, very hard for them to come back. We do see Smithy roaming around, actually doing a really good job putting harassment in top lane, putting harassment in middle, and One Bad Brad hasn't really been able to have the same presence around the map as of yet.
No, he definitely seems very much at home right now, in and amongst the trees, hasn't really come out to visit anyone, but, I mean, Balls, man, that guy, he gets that double kill straight off the bat. They're still farming. Finally goes back to town. Look at his first item. We're 5 minutes into the game. He doesn't go for the tier 2 boots and Dorans. Nope, he's going straight for a Phage.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think now that Doran's blades have been nerfed a little bit, it makes so much more sense, and especially for the 2 champions like Corki, like Ezreal, to actually pick up that early Phage. It gives you more health, I believe, than 3 Dorans. It doesn't give you any sort of lifesteal, but it also gives you good attack damage. Not quite as much as 3 Dorans, but more than 2. or actually just a tiny bit less than 2. So certainly a good pickup and allows you to get that slow. Now Balls knows that Alistar is down there, but he's not too concerned about it. He's just going to poke away, and I believe he thinks he's going to let them, pretend like they're baiting him out and taking some free damage, and he's just going to continue the harassment. And now for not One Bad Brad actually heading away, does get a Mystic shot at him, and he just backs out. Finally, is convinced that they do know that he is no longer there, or he was no longer there.
Well, again, yeah, you could easily be going for the bait, hey, I already got a phage, so that means I'm 200 hit points higher than you right now. Come try a tower dive. Like, come on, try me. I got Muffin Cutie in my pocket. Well, I got a Soraka. I got the damage. I mean, he has nothing to lose, and now he just has to deal with a massive creep wave, so it's lots of farm to him. You can see Zekin and Parole, they're going to go down south, look to get themselves some of those goldems, because they got nothing left to do in lane. But Alistar, again, I mean, just so far, not a lot of map presence, and you kind of do want to try to capitalize upon an aggressive Alistar early to try to form some kind of advantage, but so far, it just seems very passive.
Yeah, he does seem very passive. Looks like he's going to head back up top. Rainman, causing a lot of issues for Martel up top, and Rainman might be content to go back. He's actually sitting at 35 CS to the 22 for Martel, so that is certainly a big difference. Has not even gone back, didn't use any of his 4 health potions. Uh-oh, in middle, we see Takashi X barely spirit rushing away, getting away from Mandatory Cloud, and then using that spirit rush once again. Oh my goodness, does get caught. That is unfortunate.
Yeah, I guess he's out of spirit rushes. Yeah, that ignite is going to take him down, no problem. Mandatory Cloud able to pick up that kill, put them on the board 3-0. Nearly 2,500 gold difference at this point, and it does not look like Zekin and Perot are having a very good time in this bottom lane. It is going back to the strengths of the Ezreal Soraka combo, because look at that, even through the exhaust, they pick up the kill, flash on out, arcane shift. We got heals from the Muffin Cutie and silences if Perot wanted to go into that, and a very good jungler with a lot of presence. I mean, this bottom lane so far snowballing very nicely for MTW.
Yeah, it certainly is, and actually Udyr was able to catch up on top significantly with his farm. Is now actually even with Jace. Jace just headed back that one time, so good job on Martel with that Udyr to really pick up that farming. And we see more aggression down bottom. Ball's just being really, really aggressive, being a bully down there. Of course, he certainly can. He has 3 kills under his belt, also 13 farm up on Parole at this point in time.
My goodness, chasing him right through the turret. So this is going to be a good amount of auto attack damage landing here, just chipping away at it, and we are just going to head on back. That is why Balls did use that ultimate. Now up top, Martel and Rainman. Again, like Rainman, you said he doesn't have those kind of escapes up top, but he does have a lot of range afforded to him and a really decent knock-up combos. So he is surviving very well up here, 7-6 level-wise, and we're looking at 44 creeps to 39, so yeah, it does have a little bit of an advantage. Able to win these trades with Martels very convincingly so far.
Yeah, absolutely. He's really choosing when and when not to engage. One of the weaknesses of Udyr, in my mind, is the lack of a gap closure. That certainly hurts him against a ranged champion, which Jace can be a lot of the time, and that's where he's been doing most of his work, just sitting at range, poking away at Martel, and then when he realized, okay, I poked him down enough, I can go in there and not really be worried about fighting to the death now, then he runs in there in his melee form, puts down quite a bit of good damage, so we're going to see Martel run back, buy up, looks like he's going to purchase a Wriggles Lantern eventually here.
I'm just keeping an eye down here. South Balls with the ultimate, lands a lot of damage onto Parole. Zekin taking a lot of flak now as well. Getting him low, has to pop that Valkyrie out. Now Balls, he has not done anything for his boots. Have you noticed? He's still tier 1 boots. He's going straight for that Trinity Force, and at the rate he's going, he might be able to get it by 16.
Both teams baiting each other out there. Balls getting healed with Astral Blessing and that wish perfectly by Muffin Cutie, and they were forcing Parole back once again. Of course, Parole and Kale were baiting out for their ultimate, so both teams trying to bait a little bit, really thought they were going to get the better of that exchange, but neither did. Well, I suppose mTw.NA got the better of it, but no kills were picked up.
Now we do have Smithy out here scouting One Bad Brad, but did he actually see him? I have to wonder. He does know that maybe this red timing is ready to go. One Bad Brad is going to have to headbutt him on out of there. Muffin Cutie has now shown up to the party, as well as Balls, so One Bad Brad, this is not going to be a red that you are going to be able to get. Balls kind of going a little offensive. Could have been a big mistake right there. I also assumed that Balls was going to get that red, but I guess
Yeah,
Not.
that's kind of what I assumed as well. He decides to take one big golem instead. Certainly, with that red buff, he would have been able to continue his dominance in that bottom lane. Incredibly. Already has that Sheen and that Phage red buff on top of that. Would have been very, very frightening. But what we do see, Warnock Parole going on the aggressive here. Oh wow! And they actually trade kills. Soraka picking up the kill. Did not think that was going to go so well. Actually, for mTw.NA, being able to pick up the kill with 4-0 1 Bad Brad on his way as well.
It's that exhaust, man. That exhaust is just really, really excellent at those trades. And, you know, he made the best of a bad situation right there. Does look like there's 2-tier boots now coming up for Ezreal, but Mandatory Cloud went a little bit too far. Takashi able to pick up that kill, but they will end up killing each other out of that. Ari, excellent plays in the mid. And again, Rain Man just really pounding down this top. It overall creates a very controlling situation for MTW. Up 6-2 and 4K. Coming up to the 4K mark. We might even be seeing on the next bottom engage a possible dragon.
Yeah, I think it is just about that time. Of course, Nautilus not the best dragoner, jungle dragoner. Neither is Alistar. They both tend to go for that GP10 route, which they both have gone in this game, and they don't tend to be able to do it on their own. Of course, Soraka can heal him up pretty well, and I expect at some point, if mTw.NA gets a successful game, in particular, they will go for that dragon. One thing, of course, the ward is down there for mTw.NA. They've done a great job protecting that bottom lane with wards. As of right now, looks like they're a little bit unprotected. Muffin Cutie has some in store and can place them down when they feel like they're getting a little bit aggressive. And actually, is going to place down a ward right now. I get so excited about ward placement. He's going to put it in that brush right before One Bad Brad gets there. But of course, he has picked up that early oracles, and so he's just going to be like, oh, that's a free 25 gold that just got put down. That is a fresh ward. That's like a 75 gold piece that you absolutely wasted. Although it's not quite wasted because they did recognize that Alistar was coming in and is frightening and is attempting to gank that bottom lane.
I almost feel like that Brad was kind of forced into the oracles. I mean, right now they're down 4 kills. That's about 3,500 gold. And at this point, it just seems like he was forced to do it. Now here's the dragon. It does look like all 5 members have now shown up. So Udyr, he's up top having fun by himself. Mid didn't even bother. I saw no pings going down whatsoever. So this could have very well been blind. But at the same time, a lot of that intuition from the pros are probably saying, well, all 5 of them are missing for about 30 seconds. The dragon's probably gone.
Yeah, I mean, they should have realized it, although it didn't seem like 4-0 1 Bad Brad was too concerned about it. He was just hanging out bottom, clearing wards down there, and it was a swift dragon pickup. Really great job by mTw.NA to call down Rain Man, and he responded very, very quickly, went down there, picked it up very, very cleanly, and that is just another bit of advantage for them. Still 4,000 gold in the lead. That first dragon under the belts, 4 kills, so doing a great job all around so far. Every one of their lanes, I would have to say, is winning. Morgana actually up, a good 30 CS in the middle lane, as well as all the other lanes being up just a tiny bit.
Uh-oh, Ball's a little bit in trouble. It gets off that exhaust and an ignite on top of him as well. Muffin Cutie does have to throw down quite a bit of spam heal to keep him alive. And of course, I did look at his character sheet. He is rocking 2% lifesteals, so between maybe the masteries or the runes, he does have a little bit, but that was not a good situation for him whatsoever. Had to just blow everything to get on out of there.
Yeah, I mean, he had to, use his escape skill to get away, but he actually didn't have to burn Flash, and he now has Ignite up. So for this next battle, certainly he's going to have the advantage. I feel like any battle where you don't die and you have Soraka in lane, you're going to win because you're simply going to out-sustain your opposition, and I think that's kind of their strategy there. And we do see a gank down middle, and Takashi X, wow, getting bursted down really fast.
It looks like he's going to be okay for now. That spell vamp comes out as well as the heal from One Bad Brad, but getting him down to the wire. And I almost got to just be reminded, Rain Man seems like he's very M5 right now. He pushes down that top lane and then he goes wandering. He came down to the dragon. Now he's coming into that gank for mid. So it looks like he is going to be running a very aggressive top lane. Now at the same time, MTW has totally won that bot. Out goes the turret 15 minutes in. And it's a little unfortunate they weren't able to get the Takashi X kill. But at the same time, they know that they're very much in control here. We've now blossomed up to 5,000 gold. And just check out some of these creep scores. We still don't even have a triple digit for 4-0, but MTW 122, 145. That clearing power of Morgana, my goodness, she gets herself an hourglass at 15.5 minutes in.
Yeah, and that is a great early pickup, my favorite pickup on Morgana. We see some pros go for, that early Zonias. I think Reginald prefers that. Yesterday we had Curse and Nijaki generally rushing for that Abyssal Scepter, but Zonies is so nice because you can actually, go full-on engage in a team fight and not worry about getting bursted down before your second proc of that Soul Shackles goes off. So, it has that defensive power, and we might see some team fights kind of being forced at mTw.NA. They do certainly know they're in the lead, up those 4 kills, got that dragon, and have that bottom turret. So I don't know if they're going to start, baiting out Baron. It is, significantly early for that. It just spawned a minute ago, but, any fight that they can force is a good one for them.
Alright, well, we catch a little bit of flack here onto one bad Brad, but he's going to be okay. He's fairly durable at this point. He does have the boots of mobility of Philosopher's Stone, lets him get out of these sticky situations in a pretty decent manner. And it does look like we're having a lot of flack mid. Takashi gets hit by a lot of flack there, as well as that binding. Here comes Zekant in from behind, and it does look very reminiscent to a 4-on-3 ARAM right now. I mean, we got a big creep wave coming, a lot of creep clearing abilities, a big anchor going in. Takashi has to use his ultimate to get out of that, and now if we are going to be teaming fighting, which we might see right here. Oh, great invulnerability coming out of Kale. Man, just so many savers.
Right, and absolutely. So they are forcing, the fight to be brought to them middle, and really great job by mTw.NA, recognizing that they have the advantage, and then being able to use their skills and not waste any ultimates, yet get the ultimates out from 4-Not. They made Kale waste her ultimate, and they made Ari waste that Spirit Rush as well, so they know they were just so incredibly safe there, couldn't really be engaged upon while the enemy team did not have their ultimates, and earlier on, they'd also gotten the ultimate off of Alistar. So really great job just, knowing the cooldowns of the enemy team, making them waste their cooldowns while being able to take down that mid turret, which gives them so much more map presence.
And a little bit of a scare for Soraka, 3 people running behind her, but it looks like she's going to be okay. Just clearing out jungles, looking to reset timers, clear out some of these wards, but Takashi has to use that flash to get on out of this, but not too sure it's going to be enough. The anchor after that binding, and Mandatory Cloud picks up his 3rd kill right now. That's
yeah, 3-1.
Yeah, 3-1. Smithy, unfortunately, going to be paying the price for it, and that will be the return. Here comes Martel as well. We're landing a little bit of flag here onto Muffin Cutie, but she should be able to run right into the tower for safety. And yeah, 1 for 1. Okay, cool. 7.
1 for 1. But Xmithy was wearing an Oracle, so that is, actually, essentially 2 kills lost there. Yeah, so they lost that extra 400 gold. Didn't really get to make great use of that, sadly enough for him. And for Whatnot, One Bad Brad still running around with his, is 0-1, is a little bit behind in the jungle, 61 creeps, and also did not have the 2 GP10s. We see a lot more aggression coming from balls down here, and One Bad Brad backing up rather Corky. I guess there's going to be no kills there. Ezreal able to run away, and of course has that Trinity Force, so has that extra movement speed already. And I think that is a little bit underappreciated, all the utility that Trinity Force gives you. It gives you that 12% extra movement speed, the chance to slow through the phage, and so in those engagements with Corky, now he's going to be able to engage and disengage kind of at will.
And that quick, the quick Trinity, I'm just really mind-blown right now at how fast that Trinity Force came out. You're going to find really 2 camps of people. I mean, some people are like, it's an Ezra, it's just an AD carry, you get your Infinity Edge, get your Phantom Dancer, and good game well played, but it does not look like Balls is going to be subscribing to that theory, as he did get that Trinity, and again, just spectacular fast. He's going to try it. Oh, he got the Phage proc off into Peril. Going to be taking a lot of flag, just barely enough mana to get that Valkyrie going, but Balls does not want to give this up. He's going to go right through the tower. Auto attacks coming out, and he's going to be able to tank this, or will he? The Wish.
Oh, the Wish comes in. Oh man, I don't know if he would have made it out alive without that Wish, but certainly picking up that kill was big. That essentially gives his team a free dragon at the same time. So great dive there. I'm sure there was communication amongst the team being like, okay, you can dive, we do still have Wish up, and we're busy here taking the dragon. Even if they traded, they would have come out way ahead, but they didn't even have to trade. Balls gets out A-okay, and now is able to farm up even more. So one weird thing that happened just a little while ago, Jace was equal with Udyr in farm, ran down 2 dragons, so of course lost a couple waves there, came up top, and now is, actually created a significant lead. It's about 40 CS up on Martel, so I'm very surprised as to how that has happened for him. Now we actually see them exchanging blows, and Rayman's like, actually, I don't want to stand here and fight you. I'm just going to knock you away and go back to farming and beat you that way. So I guess that is Rayman's decision here, and it looks like he's going to be building towards a Trinity Force as well, so we're going to see at least 2 Trinity Forces. In the middle we see a lot of action.